2021. It's been an exciting year. And to end it, we have a very special person with us here today, Iñigo Gaston, who heads partnerships at Bit2Me, the largest exchange, or probably the largest cryptocurrency company native from Spain. So
Thank
welcome,
you very
Iñigo.
much.
How are you?
It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Iñigo Gaston, as you mentioned, and I come from Bit2Me. It is the Spain's largest exchange currently. We have 450,000 users and 3 million alumni for our academy, with two main pillars. Right, we have education and creating cryptocurrency adoption, which I think everyone in this industry is up for. Right. Thank you for the presentation, and thank you for having me, especially.
No, very, very welcome. And I love that. You don't find many exchanges, or I guess you see it in the big exchanges, but combining education with the business side of things and crypto is crucial to increase adoption and then, bring more people into the crypto space, and it'll be good for everyone in the ecosystem, right? So that's a super important function, and I think you guys are doing great. I'd love to hear a bit more about how the company started because,
Yeah.
Spain is a small country in relation to the world, right? And there's not that many companies that get as far as you guys have. So I'd love to hear about a bit of the history of the company and also, how have you guys made it so far? Some keys to your success.
Of course. The company was founded in 2015 by Leif and Andre, the two current CEOs and founders of the company. So this came as firstly a small broker, right? It had little functions. And as they started, they realized the importance of education in the crypto space. And so began the Bit2Me Academy, which currently is one of the biggest pillars of our company. Well, it actually is the biggest pillar with 3 million alumni right now. After this, well, they started building up the team, right, progressively. And we are now more than 150 people based in Alicante, working hard to become an international exchange, beginning with our expansion right now in Southern Europe and future plans for LATAM as well and in Africa in 2022 and 2023.
This is an extremely exciting company, and I want to ask you, why Alicante? It's in the south of Spain. Why not the main metropolitan area? How did that come about? Are the founders from that region?
Yeah, it was basically because the founders were from this region, so that was the decision made, right? It began here, so for now it remains the same. Who knows in the future, right? We might have offices all around the world. That's our main goal, to become completely adopted everywhere. But current regulation, so for every exchanges and every company in the crypto space, we know how regulation can be and how difficult it is, right, to move around regulation. So that's our standing point right now. We recently actually launched our B2M token as well, which made us stand out because it was the biggest ICO in Spain till today. We raised $20 million euros, sorry, in less than 1 minute, and yeah, it was a huge success. And right now I'm actually part of the token team. I am the partnership manager. So the thing is, what's changed in the company is that now we have a huge focus on our actual holders and users, and we want to give our community the ability to be part of our journey, right, and become successful with us together.
So that's super interesting. I have a question. So you guys just did the ICO. I mean, you guys
Yeah,
did it at a very, very good timing, but you
yeah.
started the company in 2015. So why did you choose to do an ICO for your exchange, so many years later instead of in the beginning? What's instead of 2017?
Of course.
What
Yeah.
was the decision behind that?
So as we all know, right, in 2017, we had the ICO boom, where a lot of companies liked to sell ICOs that maybe had nothing behind it. So Bit2Me had a clear idea of, actually, they didn't really know if they were going to release a token yet. So they didn't even think about it because they were focusing on building adoption and education in the crypto space. But after having the whole product, right, and realizing that people had the need to become part of our community, we realized that taking out a token and releasing an ICO was one of the best ways to give governance, general governance, and community incentives.
I mean, we're completely aligned. That's what Bondex is about on both sides. One, we want to have a tangible product that we push out. That's why we've already launched, the Origin app that all our users are familiar with,
Yeah,
and where people can build their professional profiles. And we don't want to have an ICO or a liquidity event until we have a product, a user base, and a community to actually then give part of the governance too, right? Which is
of
very important,
course. Yeah,
which
it
is the
makes
beauty of
sense, right?
blockchain.
Yeah. Rewarding the users, right? Make them become part of our journey.
Because that otherwise you're web 2, right? If you the beauty of
Yeah,
web 3 is that the users, and it's a meritocracy, they can own part of the, in your case, an exchange, in our case a professional network. But that's the beauty of web 3. But I loved your story of how you ended up with the educational side of things. And so tell us a bit more about your token, because I've recently become familiar with it, especially because we've enabled it for the Bondex pre-sale, and we're now B2Me enabled for everyone
yeah,
listening, so
fantastic. Yeah.
but tell us a bit more about your token and how it works.
Of course. So B2M is the name of our token. It was launched the 1st of November. It's an ERC20 based token with a maximum supply of 5,000 million B2M. And we just announced the beginning of our new product, Earn, which is a reward based system where we have a pool. It's a farming pool, right? Where people can get rewarded for blocking their B2M. But the difference is there's no limits, no blocking, or no lockup period, right, for unbonding or bonding your B2M with the actual earn product. We are also offering other staking incentives such as Bitcoin, Cardano, Ethereum. All these products, if people decide, like if our users decide to cash out those rewards in B2M, they're going to have an incentive of a added 0.5%, depending on their level of holding of B2M. They're going to be rewarded with an extra, right? Because we always have our holders in mind now. That's why we built the B2M token team, right? Because we need a focus based, pure focus on our token holders, which we think is the big step, like you said, right, into Web3, being able to interact and include our community and decision making in the future.
That's right. That's obviously clearly the future and the way that things need to go, and that's how blockchain is going to disrupt the rest of the world. But
Exactly.
that's super interesting. And for everyone looking, they know they don't just have those, because I was snooping on their website. I think they also have some credit card products and other things that they've been doing. Can you tell us more about that other offering that you have?
Yeah, of course. So, as you know, well, we already have the Earn product releasing by the end of the month. Soon will come also our Launchpad, which, as you know, for exchanges, having a Launchpad, it is what really allows you to interact with the DeFi space and do exciting stuff, which is where we're going to really bring value to B2M and our holders and users in the app. Then Bit2Me Academy, right? Bit2Me Academy boasts of being the biggest Spanish speaking community in the world with 3 million active alumni currently till today. And a lot of other stuff coming, which we cannot really get into specifics right now. But yeah,
But you guys are coming.
yeah, we're coming. We're coming strong, very strong.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And something I wanted to touch base with you. Okay, in terms of the team and how you've grown. So we're the Web3 premier Web3 professional network. We've had explosive growth. We're almost at 300,000 users now since our launch in August, so in less than a quarter. And what I wanted to ask you is, because we're focusing on finding jobs, and we
Yeah.
believe that is one of the biggest pain points for any company, and that blockchain companies in particular are struggling a lot with finding talent. So I wanted to hear from you about, your knowledge of how you guys are recruiting, what the structure of the team is. If you can run us through what that looks like for your company.
Well, currently, our talent division, right, our human resources are getting a lot of applications because since our ICO, we've become very famous here in Spain. As we said, right, with the 20 million raise in less than a minute, you can see the amount of incentives that people have to actually become part of not just a user or holder, but also become part of the Bit2Me family. We would have to speak more in detail with our human resources team, right, on how they actually obtain all this talent. But I know for a fact that it is one of the hardest things for companies in the crypto space to do today, which is um, grabbing and also retaining talent, right? Because as we know, for example, Pompiliano, right? He has one of the biggest job offering companies in the world right now regarding crypto. But I think companies like you guys, like Bondex, are completely necessary to be able to actually find that talent with ease. Because today, there's no clear path defined or no clear category defined within LinkedIn, for example, to be able
That's
to
right.
filter these types of profiles.
Well, the problem is, LinkedIn is lacking in many ways. One is it's got a lowest engagement rate out of any social media company, and that because they don't incentivize their user base properly,
Yeah.
and that leads to the demand side spending a lot of time and a lot of inefficiency until they find the talent. Secondly, the crypto the crypto the crypto space, even though it's the fastest growing industry in the world and the best funding industry in the world, the job market and the talent pool for it is underdeveloped. One, because no one has 5 to 10 years experience, or to find them is very difficult, and that's a very small part of the population because the adoption is at first is only early adopters, right?
Yeah.
And so the problem with the existing job portals and job like postings that I've found for the crypto space is that they're very basic kind of job boards, and there lacks to be, and I hate to say it's not centralization, but basically a a unified way of having all the people that want to work in blockchain be in one place, and that's what we're trying to solve. And that therefore, disrupting but we don't want to just disrupt the supply side. We also want to also give newer incentives to the demand side and the employers that are not
Exactly.
seeing in today's business model, and that's what I'm
Make
trying.
it a circular economy, right? Where everyone benefits and have
Exactly.
one basket full of crypto on blockchain related talent, which is something missing today. Definitely.
Exactly. We want to
Yeah.
give power back to the user, but we also want to empower the organizations that are looking for talent, make it a circular economy, as you said. And one of the pillars of that is education, something
Yeah,
that we were talking about. The
definitely.
issue with a lot of people, I think, especially for the younger generation that are more crypto savvy, there's probably not very good avenues for them to become, like crypto natives, and then knowledgeable in crypto, get certified in crypto, and then get a job in the crypto space. So
Yeah,
you would need that avenue. So I love that you guys have that, and we have ambitions of enabling the same thing so that people can then get blockchain jobs, right? But
fantastic.
I wanted to ask you more about the academy. What kind of things do you guys offer there? What are the courses, certifications? How does it work?
So we have in Academy, we have a lot of things. We have from a dictionary, right, of typical crypto terms and blockchain terms to an actual area of videos, very user-friendly videos, and Udemy and Coursera style certificates where people can get that certification we were talking about, right, on crypto related content, which is something very hard to find. It happened to myself actually. I've been in the crypto space since 2016, and recently, 2 years ago, I wanted to get certified on my knowledge in crypto. What happened was I was looking for master degrees, but there was no master degree that was going to teach me anything new, right? It was just going to give me a certificate of what I knew. So what did I end up doing? I did a executive program from MIT, which was fantastic, and I really enjoyed it, and it allowed me to actually learn something else. But there's a lack of educational portals, something which Bit2Me Academy is trying to boast a lot right now. Every listing we do in our exchange has a video associated to it and an article on what it is. We have explanatory videos on DeFi as well, and everything regarding tools to interact with the market, such as MetaMask or any DEX, for example, as well. So it's a go-to portal for especially for newbies, right? Because it's a very user-friendly platform with illustrations that are very nice as well. For this, we must appreciate the work our marketing and academy team do, which is amazing. And yeah, and many more things to come actually with the academy as well in the future.
So now that you've said that about the marketing team, that brings me back to your team and the talent and the Bit2Me family that you've said, and the talent that is in this great country. And that's something that we're doing because we're actually looking for some open positions in Spain as well. Some of the top founders of Bondex are Spanish, including myself, and we believe there's a lot of talent here. And so I wanted to hear about the crypto talent that you guys have, the company. What's the company structure in terms of teams? How do you guys leverage them? Are you guys distributed? Are you guys remote? Are you all in one office? How does it work?
So we're all in one office in Alicante currently. There's various teams. We have a marketing team, research and development team, a technical and development team, which is the most important part of our exchange, right? Because they're the ones who actually develop the new products, such as Earn, which is coming soon, or the Launchpad, or any future product that will come linked to our crypto suite. Then we also have the B2M token team. We have a team of influencers. We have everything you can imagine, right, regarding a company, but towards crypto. So we are actually 150 people, but not all of them are Spanish. So we want different nationalities. We want people who are international and capable of interacting with the entire Web3 space, which is mostly in English. So out of our 150 people, we have 15 or 20 nationalities within the company right now.
Oh, that's fantastic. Always good to have diversity, and not just what you said because it gives you more reach, but to have perspectives from people around the world instead of
Exactly.
that's fantastic. Man, you guys have probably, are you the biggest crypto company in Spain, not just the biggest exchange?
We are the biggest crypto company in Spain right now. Yes. We actually, after the release of our token, we passed from being a standard company, right, to becoming a unicorn, what we call a unicorn, which is valued over 1,000 million euros. And yeah, that's all thanks to Bit2Me's hard work.
That's great. There's a lot of similarities where you guys give us. We're an earlier stage company, but we are very much global. We have 40 people collaborating either full time or part time on our team, but it's completely globally distributed, which is a different approach. Exactly. But in terms of our user base, we have 300,000 users now that are spread over 40 different countries, and that's what we want, right? We want a completely, because ideally, one of the issues that we're trying to solve is that the labor market's very inefficient, right?
Yeah.
Although crypto companies all over the world are dying for tech talent, and there's a lot of job openings, etc., there's a lot of people in emerging economies or other countries that actually cannot find work, and there's unemployment, right? And if those people have the ability or the avenue to upskill or reskill, and then get a job remotely and securely for a great organization around the world, that would bring good talent at a good price point to the employer, but also it would bring a lot of prosperity to the person getting paid anywhere in the world. And that would make the whole labor market more efficient and have a fantastic impact on all of the world society, not just one society, but the whole planet. Definitely. And that's kind of our mission.
Making it borderless, right? In the same way crypto is borderless and it connects everyone. So give this ease to the talent acquisition market, which is I think that's why Bondex is going to be a huge success, right? Because we're making that in the crypto space.
We appreciate that, Iñigo, and yes, that we're driven to make that happen and definitely execute on this vision to make this a great company. So you're very attuned with what we're trying to do. What surprises to me is that this hasn't happened yet, because crypto people are getting their jobs and communication and newsfeed from Web2 platforms. People are getting their jobs on Discord and they're getting their jobs on Twitter.
Yeah.
And so it's amazing that there's no one spot where people can really get jobs, right?
Yeah, that one portal where everyone can actually interact with companies and individuals within the same industry, right? Yeah, I think that's very necessary.
Well, the problem now with the job portals is that you can put your CV, and then the person that receives a million CVs, how does the matching happen? How do I do the professional verification of the person? How can he build a nice profile that I can access? All those problems are things that are not solved in today's industry. And the problem is a lot of crypto people don't like LinkedIn. So they don't have a traditional CV. So we need to approach this in a non-traditional way. And just like you guys are not traditional in the way that you first started with education and increasing adoption, then exchange at the same time. But I love that about you guys, and I think that's very good. That's the same thing that we want to do, which is, start with, again, good educational platform for people to get jobs, and then expand into other things that we have a mission for. I think that's the way to do it, to be mission driven, which I think you guys most definitely are.
Definitely, yes.
And how come your founders? So what does that mission for the company come from in terms of education? What's their story in terms of their blockchain story?
So their blockchain story, when they were starting Bit2Me, right? they were trying to obtain users at first, without realizing that the first step was actually creating education, because people weren't aware of the market. So as I mentioned in the last, I had an icon panel a few days back where we talked about interoperability. And I think that the first step for interoperability or blockchain as a whole is education. We've all been there, right? Myself included. When I began in 2016, I had to research in YouTube, read white papers, write up and research the words that were on the white papers because they all sounded like hieroglyphics, right? I didn't understand anything. And slowly, right, you start understanding the market. And that's why they realized that the first step was education, and they began with Bit2Me Academy, because our main audience, right, is newbies in the crypto space. We want to educate them and give them an easy portal to buy, sell, and transact cryptocurrencies, which is our star project, right? Our star product right now is the wallet, where we have 700,000 users, but 450,000 verified users using it daily. And I can say from a personal use that it's fantastic, and they're doing stuff that no other exchanges or companies in the crypto space are doing, such as creating the Venmo for crypto payments. It's like here in Spain we call it Bizum, right? It's
Yeah.
instant
Venmo.
payments between friends.
Yeah.
Well, that's something that Bit2Me released also 2 months ago, and it's amazing because there's no commissions at all.
Wow, that's fantastic. No, you guys are, I mean, you guys are beyond impressive as a company.
Thank you.
I gotta say, I'm super, super impressed with you guys. And I mean, are there, I was gonna say, in terms of that product that you does that Bizum, that would be your R&D team that comes up with these products. How does that development work for you guys?
Well, it depends. It's all part of the roadmap, right? Since it's such a community, it's such a family in Bit2Me. All decisions come from the whole company, right? So if we want to do something, it's decided by everyone, which is something very cool as well, because we do uh, votings and stuff on new products we want to add. But the roadmap was cleared out a year ago, and when we launched the white paper for our Bit2Me token, the roadmap was already there. Now we have a separate roadmap as well for our B2M token, which is all going great. We have actually completed everything that's mentioned in the roadmap. There's things to come still, but everything that we said is if not released already, being developed and soon to be released.
That's fantastic. And you guys are 450,000 kind of verified accounts. I wanted to ask you about, I mean, that's worldwide, not just Spain, obviously.
Yes, that's
That's
worldwide.
international. What do you think is the total crypto native, kind of the crypto native side of Spain? What do you think? Do you have that statistic? Just out of curiosity.
I couldn't tell you right now, actually. I don't have that statistic. What I do know is that right now we have 45,000 B2M holders just
Okay.
within our application. And right now, for example, we don't have a license to operate in USA currently because of regulation, basically. We would love to be everywhere, but we have to work step by step and with regulation.
Of course.
So right now, our users are mainly from Southern Europe and LATAM, beginning to be LATAM as well, some countries.
When you guys have 40,000 holders already, that's incredible. And they all participate in the governance of the exchange and where it goes and its product offering, right?
Yes,
So
exactly.
essentially, they have the avenue to that. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. I mean, because we're not exchange, we do have the freedom of operating in the US and having a lot of people there. But what I like is that the DAO aspect that you guys have, we find to be very important, right?
Yeah.
And again, we've already touched on it a few times in this conversation, that the users need to have a say. How do you guys do around, what type of governance do you have? Do you know? Because we're going to do quadratic voting so that it's not just, whoever has the most.
Yeah, sure. So we've had voting on social media, for example, on what listings we wanted, as well as internally on our newsletter for our B2M holders. We released surveys to see what coins they wanted to have added on the wallet, and they've all being added this month. Actually, we've had this initiative where we've added during the 30 days of the month one coin every day. which has been amazing. And all the coins that are listed, I love actually. So amazing.
That's fantastic. I guess we'll have to talk to you guys when we're approaching our ICO for sure.
For sure.
That's incredible. I wanted to ask you also about, well, we're nearing kind of the end of the interview, and we at the end of the live stream we always end asking about the market. But I wanted to ask you two questions, and not just the market. First, I'd like to tell everyone, because we need to give this advice, that even though we're SEC registered, for everyone that's listening that wants to invest in the ICO, they need to know that they're accredited investors. But before we get into this conversation, this is not personal financial advice. These are Iñigo's and mine's personal opinions.
Exactly.
And so, everyone be aware of that before we get into this conversation. So in terms of regulation, where do you think regulation's coming and going in terms of the US?
So in terms of the US, and in general, everywhere, right? What we've seen is a progression from trying to stop it to having to join it because they can't stop it, right? Which is actually the basis of the technology, right? It's what makes blockchain so strong, which is uncensorable technology. Everyone can access without any prerequisites or any sort of obligations, right? Anyone can use Bitcoin, for example. So I think governments passed from trying to fight it to joining in and trying to have a piece of the cake right now. I think that's the point we're in. And we're starting to see a more friendly approach from all governments. I hope to see soon a spot ETF being approved in the US. Let's see what happens. If that does happen, I would see a lengthening bull cycle. I think we could see a lengthening bull cycle.
So you think, okay, repeat that.
So basically, my opinion is right. So I know they've been fighting the crypto space because they didn't want it because it goes against everything,
No,
right?
that goes. But you think that what could lengthen the bull cycle, or we would enter into a super cycle, would be if regulation accompanies it?
Maybe not a super cycle, because I do believe that we're still going to see a crypto winter, right? But I mean, the thing is, what I always tell my friends and family and my colleagues, right, is I'm so into the crypto space that everyone around me has become crypto, and I have a conflict of interest on whether we are actually in mass adoption or if it's just me, right, who has just absorbed everyone into the crypto space.
You drinking the Kool-Aid, as they say. That's fantastic.
Yeah, basically.
No, I completely agree with you. I just, I guess we're living in sort of uncertain times. What people have said on the live stream before has said, everyone seems to agree. One, once we get to $100,000 Bitcoin price, people should take risk of the market, which I don't know if I completely agree with. And
Yeah.
two was, if we're able to manage a certain range of pricing into the new year, then we would basically lengthen, as you said, the cycle for another 6 to 9 months, which would be fantastic for everyone, I think, and everyone involved. But I think a crypto winter is actually healthy. You've been in here since 2016. I joined in 2016, 2017. I saw a lot of vaporware and a lot of teams that didn't exist and a lot of things that went up in flames and didn't happen. But I saw the strong companies survive, and they built silently and diligently during the bear market, and in the next cycle, now they're one of some of the biggest projects in the world. Your guys included. You guys started in 2015. You've lived already through one bear market, and you've done your ICO now in the bull market, and now you're good to go with funding and whatever you want for a long time, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think the same, right? So that winter phase in the crypto space is where everything actually happens and becomes developed to then leverage the actual halving of Bitcoin and the bull run as such, which I find it more interesting to have a bear market than a bull market, because personally, my strategy is accumulation of Satoshis, accumulation of Ethereum. I'm an early investor.
You want to buy things on the cheap.
Yeah. I'm an early investor in Ethereum, and I've never sold, right? I bought in at 50 and it's still there. And I believe in the future they're building and everything that's happening in the crypto space. Obviously, I have some projects which I like more than others, but for me, it's a matter of accumulating and not earning money, right? Some people might call me crazy, but
I'm completely agreement with you. My biggest regret is that I ever sold any of my Bitcoin or Ethereum, because I bought my first Ethereum at 30 and my first Bitcoin at 600. So it's my biggest regret in life that I ever sold anything. So I'm very jealous and a healthy envy of you and that you were able to manage all of that much better. And
it's been hard.
we're ending the live stream. I wanted to remind everyone listening that we're B2M enabled, and you guys can buy some Bondex tokens, and hopefully soon coming a lot of potential partnerships between our companies, hopefully in the near future. And
Hopefully, yeah.
and yeah, thank you, Inigo, for being here. And
Thank you very much.
have a great new year, everyone. Happy holidays to all our
Yeah.
listeners and all the Bondex ecosystem.
Yep. Thank you so much for having me, and it was a pleasure. I really am looking forward to do more stuff in the future with you guys.
Thank you, Inigo.